This is Moments with Foo with James Foo Torres, better known as Foo, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Moments with Foo is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Foo.
Hello and welcome to Moments with Foo. I'm your host, James Foo Torres, but you can call me Foo, hence the name of the podcast. And today I have the founder of Ad-Free Funnels, better known as That Offer Kid, because he's just great at creating offers. And that's the reputation that he has on Facebook. But I'm going to let him tell you more about that. But first, Josh, how are you?
Doing well, man. Appreciate you having me here. Can't wait to share.
Yeah. Thanks for taking the time, and I'm excited for this because we've talked before, and I've seen you all the time in Facebook doing things with people, videos. I consume your content quite a bit, so I'm excited. I'm excited for this, and so let's just kick it off with a quick introduction of who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so like you said, I'm known as That Offer Kid because over the last 5 years of being in business, from 14 to now almost 6 years being 20. I've launched over 42 offers, built multiple 2 Comma Club funnels and offers. And so now I'm in this place where I'm addicted to launching products, selling services, helping others do that as well. And so there's a lot of things I do, but I like to just condense it into, I'm just that offer kid. I love building offers. I enjoy it. And I spend all my free time doing that now. So of course, there's a story of how we got there, but that's how I'm known and what I do at the moment.
That's so cool that being an entrepreneur since 14, like being 20 and say like I have 6 years of experience, that's crazy. That's crazy. And that's why I'm so excited for this, because you're so young and doing these things. And me, like, I've been doing this for just 2 years and I'm about to be 30 next year, right? But it's fine because everybody has their own time, right? I have my other things, but it's cool. It's cool to get the perspective. And I know that you like getting into details, into really providing a lot of value. So I really want to dig into that. And but first I want to ask first, what a 20-year-old entrepreneur with 6 years of experience is focusing on right now the most? Like, what is taking most of your attention and why?
Yeah, so the biggest thing right now actually is, so there's 2 things. They're really close to each other. But the first thing is actually my relationships in my life. Just recently got engaged, and that was actually my goal from 14 years old. Thank you. From 14 years old, I started my business with the hopes of being able to get married at 21, right? Not have to worry about finances and let that stop me from starting a family. Because in the end of the day, like, all I want to do is I want to be a dad. I want to be a husband. I always look my fiance in the eyes and I tell her, hey, like, even if I wasn't running my business, I would, if I had to work at a gas station, but that meant you'd be fine and we could be with each other, I would do that. Like, I don't care. So the first thing is always relationships, because that's what gets me to work in my business. And then when it comes to my business, the biggest thing I'm working on right now is creating offers that have more recurring revenue on it. I know a lot of people talk about like, oh, passive income, recurring revenue, but going into this season of my life, it makes sense as I'm getting married, as I want to start a family. I don't want to be on the phone taking high ticket sales calls anymore. I just don't want to do that right now. I'll do that later, but I want to come back into that space. So right now I'm focused on creating recurring revenue through selling software, memberships, and things like that. So I would say those are the 2 things that take the most of my time, but I enjoy the first one the most, for sure.
That's so awesome. I haven't had somebody that went that direction, like to prioritize relationships. Obviously we always talk about it, but and given this a business podcast, but the thing about business is if you are the brand, you are the business, you're building your emotional stability and your needs, your personal needs need to get met for you to be able to succeed in business. So that's why I'm glad that you went that way.
Yeah. And the thing is too, 2 people will listen to this, or like there's one person who will listen to this and they'll be like, no, why are you prioritizing relationships right now? You're 20 years old. You should be grinding. You should keep your head down, make a bunch of money, and then find somebody when you're 30 years old and get settled down then, right? Which is fine. There is a type of entrepreneur who would like to take that route, and that's totally cool, right? A good example of that is Ravi Abuvala, scalingwithsystems.com. he grinded, right? He said, family, sorry, I'm focused on business. Scales company $10 million a year. Now he's a girlfriend. Now he's kind of relaxing. And that worked for him. But every time I tried to be like him, tried to be like a Sam Ovens, tried to be like a monk mode, work hard, head down, forget relationships, forget my family, like my business wouldn't grow. But my business would grow when I would come home from a dinner with my now fiance and realize, oh my gosh, I got to sit at that dinner, give her all my attention, listen to her, talk to her while I'm getting stipend voices coming to my phone. And that motivates me. I'm like, okay, what do I need to do when I'm not with her so I can do that when I'm with her? Like that, literally what I think about now is that. And so I feel like there are two types of entrepreneurs where they're like, hey, I'm doing my business for my relationships. And there are people that are like, I'm doing my business to make money, create a future so I can focus on my relationships later. So it does take you to test both probably, and for the people listening to see which one you are. So a lot of people, they'd be like, why are you doing that? But I'm like, it's working for me. And for a lot of people out there, like that is a route you may need to take.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And I love doing this podcast because it gets me thinking, right? Like you're saying all these things and I'm thinking, and this year was the year that I started building my team.
Yep.
And since I started building my team and having more people, grow my support group and getting closer with strategic partnerships and employees, that really allowed me to take the business to the next level. And I'm still working on that. I mean, obviously like just kind of starting out on building a team and growing that to scale. And that relationships that I've been building in the relationship with my girlfriend, the relationship with my family, all those different things are what, like, I work really hard because I want to be able to support my family, to support my loved ones. So I completely get it, because even though like I'm a little bit away from home and just kind of like how life took me, I want to be closer to home. But right now it's the balance of things too. It's look, I bought a house, great investment, and I as long as I can go to Puerto Rico. Last year I spent 2 months straight in Puerto Rico. It's like, okay, look, if I can spend 2 months straight and still work from there, then it's something that's the reason that I'm doing this business, because it's not because it's easier. That for sure, right? If I wanted an easy path, I would just stay in the military, or would have just taken a job that I'm just following mindlessly something and showing up, and that's it. So I completely agree with that. And I just want to now take it to the business side of things, right? Like obviously family relationships priority for both of us, and that's great. And now, so with the business, I wanna learn more about this, like ad-free funnels, right? How do you like came up with this idea, and what was the opportunity or the need that you're feeling when you saw this opportunity and took it?
Yeah. So a question for you just before we start into this is, what kind of 14-year-old has the kind of money to go launch an ad campaign, spend hundreds of dollars a day, potentially risk losing that money in hopes of getting clients and customers? Like what kind of 14-year-old has that?
Unless it's getting funded by family.
Unless you have somehow rich parents and you got money and like an allowance, but even then, like that's rare, right? So that was my situation. I was that 14-year-old kid who didn't have money for ads, let alone the knowledge or mentors who run ads. Not that ads are bad. I wanted to, but I knew, okay, I have this big goal. I want to get married at 21. I want to build a 6-figure business by 16. So all the things I wanted to do. And I was like, I can either make excuses and wait till I'm older and use that as my excuse, or I'm going to just shut up and make it happen and figure out a way. And I'm happy that I took the second option, right? Happy I went that route. I don't know what was inside of me. Maybe you're born with it, whatever. There's no secret to getting yourself to choose one or the other. That's a path you have to take. But I'm happy I took that path. And that led me down a journey of being like, okay, at the time I was running my agency and I needed agency clients, right? And people were preaching, oh, cold call to get clients, cold call to local businesses. Ty Lopez courses were teaching it. Iman Gadzhi's, like that was the way back then. But the thing was, even at 14 years old, I didn't have a phone. My parents weren't buying or paying for me to have a phone. I had a cracked Kindle and a broken Chromebook laptop, right? So that was my situation. So I'm saying, I can't cold call. I want to make 6 figures by 16. I'm not going to wait till I'm 16 to get a phone and then start. Or like, I'm not going to wait till I can drive to businesses. So I was sitting there in the moldy farmhouse basement I lived in. And I was like, okay, I need to find another way. Now, after testing a lot of things and just looking at how I can get in contact with businesses, I started doing like cold messaging, right? So I started cold messaging companies to set appointments. I did that for the next 2 years. By 16, I had my first six-figure year cash collected. And I was like, great, awesome. Not going to college, made six figures by 16. This is cool. And from there, I launched a program called Cold Messaging Kings. That's being pirated online everywhere. That was awesome, right? Now, after doing a bunch of cold messaging, I was like, okay, there's some limitations here. A lot of people are spamming, blah, blah, blah. Just like anything else, when more people start doing it, and sadly, I taught everybody it, so a lot of and other people start teaching it. So it started getting very spammy. And so I was like, okay, I need a new way. And so I was like, how can I do some more inbound marketing so I'm not having a cold message all day? So started testing that, started using my Facebook profile, like a profile funnel. That worked, got clients. And I'm getting to a point where how we're here now, but this is kind of the journey, right? And then I started using my Facebook profile to get customers. And then after doing it for a while and, making another six figures plus from that, I launched a program called the Profile Funnel Secrets, right? And then from there, I just kept, every time I evolve my business, I do something, master it, and then I go back to my community and I'd say, hey guys, here's what's going on. Here's how it's working, right? And there's many like alterations of what that was and the strategies I've used. And today, the main thing we do now is using a Facebook group, right? And we grew our group to 5,300 members, right? / leads, because they're actually leads to me, without a single ad. From that group, we collected over $250,000 cash last year. Again, no ads. So that's take home other than other expenses, Stripe takes whatever, right? And that was without ads. And so here I am. I have this process. I'm like, okay, the concept of a group funnel isn't that new. There's people out there that teach it. People do it, right? But no one's teaching how to do it organically like the way I am. So that led me to a place of going again, okay, I did something, master it, and I'm going to go back and teach my community it. And then I was like, okay, how can I put this all under one umbrella? And that's what led me to starting adfreefunnels.com, where we are bringing the concepts and the strategies to the people who are like me at 14, where I didn't have money, didn't have experience, didn't have knowledge, but I still need customers. I still had a goal. I still wanted to get married by 21. I still wanted to make six figures by 16, right? So that company and our company is going to be helping those type of people. And we're not coming in, we're not starting this to go knock paid ads. Like I will be running paid ads to sell our offers. I'm not, of course I am, right? The end game is to go organic to paid as soon as possible. It's just the progression of scaling an offer. And so, but we want to help those people who can't jump right to that right away. And we're going to be providing all the programs, products, and services that person needs to make that happen. And we're not going to gate it behind some high ticket course, and all that crap, right? So that's what's led me on this journey. And I wanted to give the whole background so you guys understand, because there's so many of these organic marketing coaches out there who rip off a course and reteach it. And there's plenty of them out there, and props to them. They're getting that bag, they're making that money. But that was not my story. Like I learned this because I had to. I had to make this happen. And I've been doing it since I started. And I feel like that gives me enough experience to then teach it to other people. So that's what that journey looked like. And it's been awesome.
Yeah, that's a great journey. I love how you painted the whole picture, and I love you took me on a journey, and I went, I lived your life for a little bit. So I think it was cool. And I started thinking about like me too, like all this different like the way that my journey went, which I came to me, I wanted to become bilingual first because I was like, oh, I want opportunities. And then that's why I got recruited with the Air Force. I was my safe space for me to learn English and get some skills and think about, like, I have 4 years, because that's my contract, to figure out what I'm going to do next. Because I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur since like I can remember. I remember being in school and like playing games to win something, to then sell it, to then buy some candy or something. Like I did that like since I was in elementary school. So I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be a business owner, but I just needed to find the vehicle. And that's basically kind of like you're providing a way to like, look, like if you really want to do it, like ads shouldn't be the thing that is holding you, or you don't have money. Like, look, you have a phone, you have a broken computer, like,
Yeah,
so I
you
really
have
like
no
that.
excuse. That's the thing. Like that, I always think about it, like, okay, someone's holding a gun to my head, and like you have like a day to make or pay me $1,000. Like I would figure out a way, so I'd stay alive. So if that's the case, that means I have no excuse. And every day I wake up, I have the opportunity to make that happen. And there's been many times in my business where it has been perfect. And, I had to throw a Hail Mary to, launch an offer, make money to pay the bills. Like that's happened all the time. I'm not going to be like a guru who hides that, pretends that doesn't happen. That happens all the time. It happens recently, right? But I know that with the skills and the things I've developed over the years, that I can do it and I can throw that Hail Mary, make it happen and learn from my mistakes. And so I would just want to be that figure for everyone else, saying that you can do it too, as cheesy as that sounds. And then also provide the necessary resources to do it. So that is the mission of ad-free-funnels.com. And and I'm not here just to shell it or promote it. There's not even a website up yet. It's very low key. But again, I just want to get it out there and really show like what are we doing, why, and the story behind it.
No, and I mean, that's what we do in these things. Like we're having a valuable conversation that obviously we gotta name what we're doing, because what are you gonna do? Like my business. No, it's ad-free funnels, right? Like that's it. It's not like you're being too promotional or anything. And one thing that kind of like came to mind, a big word that I say a lot and that's why I do this interviews, is perspective. Because when I see you doing these things, when people see me doing what I'm doing, and when I see others that came from nothing, like they lost 100 million, came back, and now they're million, they're past even that, right? And I see all these things, and it makes me feel, like you said, like as corny as it sounds, it's like like if they can did it, if they did it, I can do it too. So that's why I like masterminds. That's why I like communities and all these different things. But that gives me perspective. And it's not that I want to have, oh, let me just find somebody that has it worse than me just to me feel better, right? That's not the intention. The intention is just to because sometimes like we're privileged and we don't know it, because there's other people in social media that we see that have it better, and we don't think about the people. Like sometimes I remember when I was a kid, there's people in Africa that are like going to sleep hungry, and now it's like there's people in United States like that are going hungry. Like it's not, you don't have to think about Africa or anything. There's people like probably if I just walk like 10 minutes that way, like there's homeless people everywhere nowadays. So I have this house, right? And I tell that to my girlfriend sometimes when she's like, oh, I want to do more. I want to, we always want more, right? We always want more, but it's like, look, we're growing, we're doing these things, and I give her the perspective. So that's why I like that the way that you're bringing the perspective not only to me but to the audience. So that way people feel like, damn, like if this motherfucker did it, like I can fucking do it. That's all. Exactly. That's all. Exactly. So like you talked about like a lot of things. So is there like any other like either educational part of this journey of like how to, what would be, I guess that what would be the biggest advice that you would like to let people hear, right? Like based on this conversation, what would be your biggest takeaway?
Yeah. So a lot of times people ask me, oh, how did you succeed? How did it happen? What's the secret? And I've learned now as of this year that the reason why I've done well or okay is because of timing. And I'm not saying luck, because there were strategic things I did to time out my success, and meaning like how I timed out when I launched certain products. And I want to encourage like everyone listening to this, and I always preach it over and over again, but a lot of times like you're just timing your products or services or your business really poorly. Like when you're coming into the marketplace, you're convincing yourself that your product is so good people will pay it because of all your years of experience, or because of how cool you think it is, or how much time you put into it, when all that matters is, okay, are you coming into the market at the right time, right? Meaning, are you releasing a product that is solving a pain point that the whole market has already been dealing with and nobody has solved? Are you coming in, are you talking about something that's going viral right now and people are excited about, right? A lot of times when these big companies, Amazon, Facebook, all these companies, the reason why they blew up is because they came out to the market with the right timing, when people actually wanted what they had. And so for me, the reason why my services sold and why my agency took off at a young age, and why, people didn't care that I was so young or didn't have experience, was just because of the way I timed when I brought services to the marketplace. So if you have a business, you're starting a business, you currently have one now, you need to be focused on the timing. And the easiest way to get good at that is just consume as many ads, funnels, promotions, campaigns in your space of your competitors, other markets, like just consume it. That's all I do every single day. I scroll through and I like ads. Like it was funny. I was on my girlfriend's phone the other day, just scrolling on her feed while she was doing something. And I was realizing I was just looking at the ads. Like every time I saw an ad, like read it, like subconsciously. So it's a habit. So I consume. And then when I come down to a brainstorm, I have all this information I can pull from, pick from, and I see things. And it's like this new sense I have. I'm like, okay, this will work. This will do well. And it does well. Like for our recent product, we dropped the organic group method. The only reason why I did well, with no testimonials, without any previous experience, nothing, like just launched it cold to the marketplace with a 1-sentence post. I got 200 customers and, $5,000 a month in recurring revenue, was because of the timing, right? I went out and I said, hey, for $27, I will help grow your group and fill your calendars without paid ads. Oh, okay. Boom, boom, boom. 200 comments, people joined, people paid, sold software on the back end, help these people do this. And it worked well because the whole marketplace has already gotten used to running ads to grow their group. And I was one of the first person to come out and say, hey, I did this without ads. Just that simple, right? Just saying I did this without ads, no bold claims, no guarantees, no guaranteed 30K kind of offer. None of that crap. I just said, hey, here's boom, boom, boom. And again, the only reason why that worked well because I timed the marketplace right. If I would have launched that last year, would not have done well, right? 2 years ago, would not have done well. If I did it even like a year from now, probably wouldn't have done as well because the market's warming up to it now. So you have to be really, really good at timing. So that's the biggest thing I push now. I used to be like your mindset, your purpose, your passion. No, screw that. Are you timing your products and services at the right time? Like that's it. I don't care. I don't care about anything else. It's okay. And I look at people, so I help people build their funnels, their offers, write their copy. I don't get excited about products sometimes because I know that they're releasing it to the marketplace at the wrong time, or it's too late, or they're too early, right? And I'm just like, eh. But the services and the products that did super well are the ones that were, timed perfectly. And, I can tell just looking at the marketplace, okay, this will do well because either no one's talking about this or people, starting to talk about this, they're getting it early. So it's just a clear indicator. That's how I plan on my offers. If it's not timed well, I'm not going to launch it.
Yeah, you got it for that offer guy, that offer kid. So that was powerful. Got me thinking again, man. You thought provoking lines, man. You got me here like just like thinking about my timing, man. It's just like,
yeah, it's important. It's so important. Like, yeah, I don't know. There's ways to take existing, like something that maybe has been around for a while. There's ways to take that kind of service and either bring it to a new marketplace or a new like segment of the marketplace and time it well there too, right?
mm-hmm.
Like there's so many ways to do that too. So
Yeah.
like that, one of the biggest things I would do, like, because you do PR, I know people do PR, other people do PR, right? And like what I would do if I were them is I would go to, people that are focusing on cold outreach with their brand, or people on Instagram are like solely focused on doing their cold DMs. So my angle would be like, hey, do you want your cold DMs to be open more? Do you want, you're sick and tired to be ghosted? Do you want people to see more of your content when you're doing outreach to them? Hey, we can help you get verified. We can get you publicity, whatever. Like that's the angle I would go after whenever I look at those people, rather than just be like, hey, get credibility. Like, nah, screw that. I'd be like, go specifically to a segment of the marketplace, explain why that little check mark or the publicity is going to help. And I know some people do that and they do it pretty well. But usually they're just selling them the ego, or you're selling them the status, right? Which is great. I see why, I'd love to have a little check mark. But to me, I see a check mark, I'm like, no, my cold DMs would be open. My messages would, I'd book more podcasts, whatever. So again, you can take an existing service, angle it, and plug it into a new part of the market strategically. So yeah, at the end of the day, timing. You gotta time your products better.
Yeah, and that's literally like I've been thinking that way because I fell into like, just learning in the beginning, right? Like just get this press release in here and that's it. But then I was like, okay, what that does mean? What does that mean? And then I hammer a lot on you get people to stop from scrolling. Right. Like in that if you post a lot of content, but people just scroll past it, then it doesn't matter. Right. So adding authority. So then people actually stop. It's like, oh, this is pretty cool. Let me consume this. Right. Because now I saw something that was familiar that stand out. And also tell like when it's basically the only way to really gain trust at scale. Like if you want to go national, you want to impact millions, you want to become like start a movement for you to be able to get good response, or just people to care enough to give you the chance to read your content or a call. You need to have public relations to be able to do that too. Another thing is that when you gain trust quicker, right? Like when people trust you quicker, then time is money. So if you cut the time that people trust you, then you cut your cost per acquisition, right? Who doesn't want that? Oh, if for the ads, you want to cut the cost of per click for your ads to get people to stop scrolling, then add yourself in a position of authority. Like Alex Hormozi, Gary Vee, all these people, they're doing it. They're going to TV, they're going to podcasts, high level podcasts, they're going to like just any place that they can position themselves in a position of authority, and then they leverage that in their content and they become omnipresent with authority. And that's when all turns down into being able to reach more people, being able to gain trust quicker, being able to get less cost per acquisition. And then that's my angle, right? Like that's the things that I'm pushing for. And then not just press moments, but starting a movement is what I'm prioritizing. So before I was like, oh, maybe let's just try to get you featured in Forbes, or like let's just do this press release and then this magazine, right? Like, and those things are things that I still do, but I do them now. It's with a bigger purpose because I know better now. Right. And I study the market. I have my clients. I see which ones are winning, which ones are not. And I'm removing those barriers. Like, so, for example, a lot of people, it's like they don't redistribute their PR. If you just sit on it and just let me just get in my phone here, just waiting for people to call me, you're really not gonna get the real benefits. You have to redistribute it with marketing, with email, with social media, ads, all those different things. If you don't make the most of it, then you're really just sitting there. It's like, maybe you got a call, maybe not, but do you really want to be that passive about it? Right. So that now I'm adding that into my offers too. So before it was like, oh, like I just want to get somebody that at least $1,000 or something, right? Like I just trying to get somebody. But now it's like, look, now our Gale client is $10,000 a month that we start. But now like my clients are happy because we're literally directing their whole marketing. It's a very holistic approach with PR as the main marketing strategy, and then trickle everything down from that. And there's a lot of timing involved because of there's the long game, but then there is the responding to news, what's happening, what's in the media, like what are the needs right now. So we're playing both games at the same time, and it's turning out to be very profitable. So and the impact too. It's not just about the money, because sometimes it's just impact and then the money kind of comes after you do great impact and service. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I just want to say thank you for coming here. This was very, very exciting, very valuable. And I know it's gonna be people. It's like, look, I want to talk to that kid. Like, I need to talk to that dude. Like, he seems super interesting. I want to know more about how can I grow my group and all these different things without ads. So how can people find you?
Yeah, if you want to find me, just go on Facebook, type in Josh Gavin, add me as a friend, shoot me a message, ask me any questions that you have. I'll be open. Again, I don't have anything to hide behind a high ticket course or anything. And the most money you can even pay me is probably $3 for our program. So don't be scared. Don't be shy. We'll help you out. And yeah, really appreciate you having me here today, man.
Perfect. And I'll have your links in here and everything, but I just like to vocalize it sometimes. Our big majority of our audience does audio. So this goes on video too, but then sometimes, they're cleaning and stuff, sure. Right? So that's why I wanted
to all you audio listeners, you know where to find me.
Exactly. So man, thank you again. Like, this was really good. And I know that I'm going to be talking to you more about those things. So, and from here, like, I know that there's good information that we can also, I can include in one of my articles. So I'm excited for what comes next. And maybe like we can do this again, like next year, let's say, and then be like, hey, this is what's timely now, right? And this is what is happening now. That would be super cool. So looking forward to that. And yeah, so I'm just gonna say, like, this was Josh Gavin and James Torres, and this is Fu signing off.
Thanks for listening to Moments with Fu with your host, Fu. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we will see you on the next episode.